Hey, welcome, and thank you so very much for being here for another episode of Talking Cloud. Now, this is where we talk about cloud, anything cloud, everything cloud. I mean, come on, just about anything related to computing, it's going to be related or having to do with the cloud in the world today. And as I have said so many times, I'm just the Gilligan in this equation. I always like to pull in professors, people that are just way smarter than me, and try to hold my own with conversations with them. We usually have a great time. And, I think today is going to be a really fun and interesting one because my guest today, it's not the proverbial CISO or something like that that I've met along the way. In fact, I can credit this guy with actually at least one, maybe two jobs where he referred me, recommended me, and I've known him since my first go round at Checkpoint, which I started in I think '99 when I first met him.
98.
Well, yeah, we were 98. That's right. And today he still remains one of my dearest friends. And I thought it would be a great podcast to have Cal Jeffrey with me today, a 30-year veteran in the biz. And what I always like to refer to, and you'll get this soon, my own personal SMEE. SMEE. It's not just subject matter expert, but it's subject matter expert on everything. Because, joking aside, there are a few people I know that seem to be as well read and well informed as Cal. So this is sure to be a great conversation. Cal, welcome to Talking Cloud, brother.
I'm a little astonished that you would admit to knowing me for all these years, because that genuinely makes you accessory after the fact for all the felonies.
Yeah, that's right.
The DOJ will find you.
Yeah,
travel all you want,
okay.
They will find you because your passport's being tracked.
Yeah. Well, your friendship's been worth it. It's been worth it. And you've got scars to prove it.
That's everybody saying until the jail door slams shut. Then we'll see how much.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got scars to prove it, right?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, right? Life's best lessons leave scar tissue, and our friendship has physically put 11 stitches in my brow.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And doggone it, missed that flight. But hey,
there was another one. I made it.
Oh, you made the flight? I thought you had to change it.
Because the doctor says, "Hey, man, you're going to need 11 stitches. It's going to take a little while." I said, "Buddy, I got a flight to catch. Sew me up." And he's like, "No, no anesthesia." I said, "I'm married for 30 years with 4 kids. I can take pain." So, but yeah, I was thinking about that actually the other day when you set this up.
Yeah, so you all know, listeners, Cal had stayed at my house, and he was fine in the bathroom with no light, I believe, and my wife had this ornate candelabra candle holder thing that he just happened to try to occupy the same space, and yeah, they headbutted each other, and the lamp won, the candelabra won. But so, gosh, man, I mean, we were at Checkpoint together. We were at New Star together, Blue Coat together. Thank you. That was, one where you kind of came in and gave a recommendation for the job. But I mean, you've done a lot of different things. We could talk about all kinds of different stuff. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I would say probably the last 6 months, maybe a little bit longer now. Time's flying. Wherever it goes, it's not around here. But you know, obviously AI, right? AI
Yep.
is the prevalent technology. It's
The topic du jour, man. It is for sure.
it's funny. I was thinking about this, and I was talking to somebody I've met this year who's just incredibly impressive because he and I were on a panel in the winter down in Florida talking about AI to MSPs. But it seems to me that the AI public has fallen into two camps. For lack of a better description, let's call them the pros, people that are advocate, people that are very enthusiastic about the promise and the opportunity that AI presents. And then you have the cautionaries, right?
Hmm.
Those that watched the AI dilemma and said, "Oh my goodness, what are we
Right.
thinking about?" Right now,
Right.
that does not necessarily mean that they are not in support of AI, but
Right.
they have more concerns about the rapid adoption of it than those who are just driving headlong into it. And
Hmm.
what strikes me as most peculiar, I was trying to think back across my career and slightly even before. Has there ever been a technology that witnessed these two bifurcated groups who were both equally right at the same time?
Hmm.
Because
Yeah, I
everything
don't
that
think
people are
so.
saying about the opportunity that AI presents, they're dead right.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it can be applied for so many great things.
Yeah.
Then those who say, but without guardrails, without regulation, without control, we
Yep.
are giving up all types of opportunity to secure the data,
Yep.
privatize it, ensure
Yep.
sovereignty of it.
Yep.
And, right, conspiracy theory, tin hat moment, what becomes of all that personal data if gathered and applied in a non constitutional way? Let's just say it that way,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
and there
funny.
seems to be evidence that certainly some of the data that's been utilized to educate some of the public LLMs, it's questionable how it's been acquired, where it's come from,
Right.
right.
Now you've got
But
all
I
kinds of pending copyright issues, right?
exactly. But one
Yeah.
of the things, you bring up AI. I wanted to mention this because I've bifurcated into two different types of buckets.
Yep.
Uh, and I've been out talking about this for about 6, 8 months. It's been far and away one of the most popular presentations I've ever had. In fact, it's why I did a podcast specifically showing the same
Hmm.
presentation because I think I am in both of your
Sure.
camps.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not in both of my camps, and let me explain it. Because what I believe very strongly, let me try to see if I can draw out something that we've been through numerous times, right? When we saw virtualization come out,
Sure.
right? And it was extraordinary. I mean, and you could even go back earlier and talk about networking, but the very first solution that comes out is I got to be able to see it,
Right.
right? I mean, it's the visibility, right? I mean, you always have that. I got to see it, and then I can start doing cool stuff with it. It's always right. And when we went to virtualization and we had vMotion, I needed to see it first, then I could start to do cool. Okay, I liken to where we are today because I ask people. I put up a slide of the transformer diagram from
Sure.
Google
Yep.
2017. And I'll just say, hey, how many of you know what this is? And I'm surprised, I'm borderline shocked how few have a fucking clue to what that is, let alone how it functions, how it operates, even conceptually. Okay. Because look, I'm the Gilligan. I don't get this stuff, but I've tried to read up on as much as I can to learn it. And
Yep.
that's my bifurcation, the informed and the uninformed, the
Right.
informed and the lemmings. which there has to be. If you go to 100 million users in 2 months' time,
Yeah.
you can damn well bet there's a lemming or two in that group, and that's, I think, the that's the starting point. But I think that's what's really critical. You got to just be informed so you understand it's a guess, right? So you understand everything's tokenized. So you understand some of the ways this technology operates. Otherwise, you'll be like that stupid lawyer in New York that asked ChatGPT for some case law to support his brief, and he submitted it.
Yeah.
And the judge caught him and said, "There's nothing in the books anywhere of this," and it's because it made it up. So
Took it from
anyway, there's
fiction.
my babble.
Well,
Right.
and so when I was thinking about it, I was trying to figure out if someone said to me, "Well, what guidance do you have? How do we make sausage, right, out of all of
Mm.
this?" It, I think I fall to the moment of the word responsibility.
Yeah.
And responsibility covers your point about being informed,
Yeah.
educated, right? Um, and also the responsibility aspect of being aware of what data is being shared, right? The
Yep.
potential, regardless of vendor claims, the potential that the data that you're sharing will not be in your custodial care solely in perpetuity, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
you're going to have some regulation around that, especially when you look at places like Europe that are farther ahead with GDPR. And
Right.
you've got PIA and other regulations here for it. But taking responsibility transcends AI. It's all things compute now. But because AI is a moment in time where we can raise that semaphore flag to pause, think, then proceed, right? That's where I am with it. I you know I'm involved in an AI company that's doing some fantastic things,
Yeah.
and we took care early because of the security ramifications. So, and not all AI is the same, right? Most people's ideas of AI revert to LLMs, and they
Yeah.
are. Most people have lost sight of the fact that LLMs and Gen AI are iterative and ideation tools. They
Right.
are not definitive answers on the first go. They are
Right.
designed to help you get to a better answer.
Yep.
So,
Yep. I,
in
my analogy, Cal, is, I bring up how we all had to learn how to search, right,
sure,
using
right,
Google or wherever, Yahoo,
yeah,
right, and it was really important to be able to learn how to navigate this sea and get what you wanted, and I liken that to a sniper, right, that wants something very, very specific, and whereas when you're interacting with this technology, it's more like you're playing badminton, and you serve one and it comes back and you go, yes, but, give me a little more on this context. You're missing my point, whatever, right? But it literally is this iterative interaction as opposed to a question answer. And that's a whole new skill. I tell people they got to learn how to do it, prompt.
and I had a conversation the other day with someone where they were talking about the you know diminished core fundamental learning that's going on with a lot of the IT professionals. You have some really bright kids who are going into specialization, right? The trained in a silo mode, which I am adamantly opposed to that.
Mm-hmm.
I cite Da Vinci and
Right.
a
Oh, man.
classical Renaissance education where they are cross trained beyond STEM into humanities and art because
Yep.
right look at all the things that Da Vinci put his fingers into and excelled at, and
Yep.
now you have such a hard time getting someone up to speed that we end up sticking blinders on them, saying, just put your head down and learn, TCP/IP, right?
Right.
We'll get to Modbus and Serial and RS-422 later, but
Yeah.
master this. And I don't think that's the right way, because we are now replicating that behavior in our adoption of AI. Just tell
Yeah.
me the answer.
Yeah.
Don't tell me how to learn. Don't explain to me how to problem solve. Just give me answers. And that I dislike. That's why I say
It's funny.
responsibility
So
side, that's where we are.
this just happened yesterday. My son just came back from Tokyo. He and I are talking, and he said something that just, we both were laughing our heads off. But it was really, I'd never thought of it this way. And he, I shouldn't probably use all of the colorful language that he used as we interacted, but suffice to say, it was colorful. But he was telling me what a freaking old white man I am that learned every street name because you had to.
Right.
Right, you learn, because I was just, what brought it all up is I said, hey, you want the easiest way to get the target, go down to the stop sign, turn right, go to the second stop, turn right, go to the light, turn left, you'll go under the bridge, right? I mean, boom, boom, and I was naming it all, and he was laughing, saying, that's, and it I guess the whole point is,
for that, Dad.
it just like hit me on the back of the head, like how much we had to learn.
Yes.
Not chose to learn, had to learn, that you don't have to learn today.
Well,
now, is that a good thing or a
AI
bad
will
thing?
always be advanced knowledge, right? A greater sum total than any single person, because it's,
Sure, knows everything the
cauldron
internet
of
knows.
everyone's. The
Yeah.
problem is it will never possess the wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I always make the statement that, the difference between knowledge and wisdom is knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad. Now, if you asked AI for the best recipe for a fruit salad, tomato would not be in there, not because it knew not to put it in there, but simply
it's never
because
seen it
all
before.
the recipes it's curated, it's never seen it.
It's never seen a fruit salad recipe with tomatoes.
Right. And so
it's not going to guess tomatoes.
it would not propose it because it
Yeah.
doesn't fit the bell curve of probabilities, right?
Yep.
So that's why I use the word responsibility. So I think as we embark on a lot of these innovative tools, it's more responsible, or a greater responsibility rests on us now than ever before, because
How do
we are
you
about to make a massive leap forward.
How do you impose responsibility?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, that is such a, I can impose rules, policies, right? I mean, I can impose so much, but responsibility seems like you have to have some of that wisdom that, mixed in there. It can't all be based on the binary data.
Yeah, but I think that, if you think back over the past 10 years, 1,000 people that you've met, and that's a small percentage.
Yep.
How many of those people would you say weren't responsible or desired to make responsible decisions? I mean, less than a hand's worth, right?
None. I would.
Right.
At first blush, I would say none.
Well, occasionally you're going to catch somebody
There's going to be somebody who's nefarious, right? But I mean, for the most part,
or they're just wrapped around an axle and they're thinking only about one thing, and they're not looking.
Right.
They're not looking beyond 1 degree. They're certainly not looking 360. But it's a incredibly small percentage. So, in my interactions with people, it's really more about elucidating what is an option versus dictating their choice, right? And I think
Sure.
given the opportunity, more people will stop now, and they will just, even if it's pumping the brake for 1 hour or 1 day or 1 week, and say, before we make this decision, let's examine this also, right?
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
ask these next three questions because they haven't been posited in our factors for what has made this decision. And to your point, they will become better educated about the pros and the cons, the merits and the
And
liability.
most of the time will likely take the
They'll still
right
move
choice,
forward, but they will
but they'll
move
very
forward now
likely,
understanding the liabilities.
and there'll be a higher probability that they'll take that step with responsibility if given the choice. My analogy immediately was, I'm out in a big yard,
Yep.
and there's stone steps, but I can't see them, right? And so putting in lights,
Yeah.
right? Just lights that guide me to. Then I just know.
Yeah.
You're not telling me where to walk. I can see it shorter if I
Yeah.
walk straight there, but I don't know
But the
what I'm
grass
going to
is
be
wet.
walking through. Exactly. So,
And you're
but
wearing those new Gucci's.
so but it's then a question of you how you best do that. I mean, I'm a big fan of being informed, being
Yep.
educated, understanding it, because then I agree with you. Most people, given the information, are going to make the right choice, right? Do the right thing. That's what I always tell my kids.
They
It's
will.
not always
I think they will, and it may not be some big overt action. I think
right.
that they will stop, turn around, take a day, whatever, and they will start investigating for those. Where are the guardrails in this decision,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And that's the biggest problem, is that the all the manufacturers are vying to innovate against this market momentum. And
totally.
so they're missing the guardrails. We'll put them in later. We got to plow the road, and then we'll put in the guardrails with the streetlights.
Yep.
No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
Well, we've seen that. We've seen that ready, fire, aim motion before, right?
Right.
I mean, there was a lot of people that got caught in that. I think probably in COVID, right?
Sure.
Because
Well,
they had a gun to their head.
and firing up internet connections back in the late '90s, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
websites with no perimeter. So, but
exactly.
if I'm a chief innovation officer, chief tech officer, and a chief security officer for a decent sized company, before I sign the dotted line on allowing company assets and people
Right,
and data to interact with a public I want to read the fine print from that manufacturer about the data
right.
sovereignty.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then, and if I have to, I'll throw it off to in-house counsel or contracted counsel to find out, can I be compliant? Does this match? And do I have recourse?
yeah,
And if I don't have recourse, fine. That doesn't mean you don't make the decision to move forward, but you must understand your liability.
yeah. Totally. It's the mouse
Because
print.
I don't know a day that goes by that there isn't some data breach of customer data. I don't, privacy is gone, not
Yep,
by design, but by lack of
completely.
responsibility.
And now everybody's numb. It's no,
Yeah,
data
just
breaches,
noise.
Cal, they're like car alarms,
Yeah,
right? When you're at the mall and you hear them going off, you look and oh yeah, it's somewhere over there. You don't even
and
pay
I'm thinking the
attention.
guy doesn't have a new car with an app that's ringing on his phone, telling him to turn his car alarm off. And I'm saying, dude, upgrade. Come on, public
Right?
nuisance.
Yeah, that's
We're
the
shunning
that's
him,
the that's
car
the
shaming him.
that makes me think of the hamster wheel that is digital transformation, now modernization. But once you get on that baby, there's no getting off.
Well, you just hit my pet peeve of all things.